It's 10 o'clock. This is Sky News at 10. Our top story. No longer a prince or a duke. Now the family of Andrew's alleged victim, Virginia Giuffre, urged the king to pressure President Trump.
He should tell President Trump, verbatim, President Trump, put your big boy pants on and let's get these Epstein files released.
That's as a poll suggests most of the public back the king's decision to strip his brother of his titles. Also coming up, the race to reach the stranded after Jamaica's worst ever hurricane. A report from the town described as ground zero. Demands for sexual assault allegations to be handled outside the army as a former senior officer is jailed. The Palestinian mother who was beaten by an Israeli settler in the West Bank on why she's refusing to leave her home. And we'll take a first look at tomorrow's front pages in our press preview from 10:30 right through to midnight. Good evening. Virginia Giuffre, the woman at the centre of rape allegations against the king's brother Andrew, is described by her family as the ordinary American girl who brought down a British prince. Now, her brother is demanding a formal investigation into her accusations which Andrew has repeatedly denied. Sky Roberts told Sky News he'd welcome a face-to-face meeting with King Charles and urged him to pressure Donald Trump into releasing more documents about the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Today, as Andrew was officially stripped of all of his titles, a poll suggests the public largely back the King's decision. Our home editor, Jason Farrell, has tonight's first report.
They will always be brothers, but birthright gave one power to banish the other, stripping his sibling of the title he was born with and those bestowed upon him. It came down to a stream of revelations over Andrew's misjudged relationship with disgraced sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, and the claims he denies that he raped the then teenager Virginia Giuffre. The King's statement conveyed sympathy to the victims of abuse, a sentiment welcomed by Virginia's family.
The king is setting a roadmap. He's setting a precedent to the rest of the world to say, I do stand with survivors. I am going to hold even my brother to account. But it's still not enough in the sense that he's still walking around a free man.
Virginia Giuffre took her own life in April this year, aged 41, just months before the publication of her memoir, which repeated her claims against Andrew.
Prince Andrew is just one of many that need to be investigated thoroughly. And so I think the king should put pressure on our government. He should put pressure on President Trump. He should tell President Trump, verbatim, President Trump, put your big boy pants on and let's get these Epstein files released.
It's hard to remember that he used to be a popular royal, helicopter pilot in the Falklands War. Crowds cheered at his wedding. But he became not just an embarrassment, but a liability to the crown.
Should have been done a long time ago. The guy's a disgrace, and questions need to be asked why something's not been done about it.
I'm slightly torn, because I feel quite sad about it, but I feel if he did wrong, then it's probably for the best.
Quite right. About time too. It's about time the king put his foot down and he went off and lived somewhere where he can't interfere with the royal family.
He's already been taken off the official roll of the peerage, and his extraction from the royal family will also include physical removal from the Royal Lodge in Windsor to the king's private estate in Sandringham. No longer a duke, a peer, nor a prince. Mr. Mountbatten Windsor's exile will be complete when he leaves Windsor. But the removal vans won't be coming out these gates just yet. There is a notice period and the other formalities of moving house. But on the time frame, a royal source told me quite simply, as soon as possible. He will disappear from public life, but the questions won't go away.
I think it's far beyond time to come clean. You were best friends with this man, and there are so many things that you could help bring to light. Virginia deserves that.
If the king is saying he stands with survivors and their victims, then meet with us. Have a conversation with us. We're real people with real stories that can affect real change.
The change for this awkward uncle is dramatic, but a prince is the price to protect the crown. Jason Farrell, Sky News.
Well, let's bring in our US correspondent now, James Matthews. And James, pressure on Donald Trump there to act, and more communication between Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein released in court today.
Yes, documents unsealed in an ongoing case related to Jeffrey Epstein shed light on his contact with the then Prince Andrew. They include an email from Andrew to Epstein sent in 2010. This is months after Epstein was released from prison for prostituting minors. Epstein had suggested that Andrew meet an American banker. Andrew said he would try to drop by New York later that year, and he wrote it would be good to catch up in person. Now, in December of that year, the two were pictured together in New York's Central Park. It is a piece of evidence that adds to the growing picture of Andrew's involvement. And of course, we are now hearing those demands in interviews on Sky News that he tell the whole story. The family of Virginia Giuffre, Andrew's accuser, and the lawyer for other victims, they've echoed calls that Andrew tell his story in full to perhaps a congressional committee here in the US that's been looking into the Epstein affair. It is pressure on him. These developments, of course, also put pressure on Donald Trump. He's resisting the release of the Epstein files, but the significance of events in the UK, that has turned heads here in the United States and amplified demands for that to change. The president is vulnerable on it, even more so now by order of the king.
Indeed, James, thank you very much. So, no longer a prince, he will be now known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. And a new poll here in the UK suggests the public supports the King's decision. 79% of respondents believe King Charles was right to strip Andrew of his prince title. Just 6% felt it was wrong. But 58% said the royal family moved too slowly to deal with the revelations surrounding Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein. 21% felt the reaction time was appropriate. Finally, 53% of respondents say the King has realistically done all he can to separate Andrew from the royal family. 28% believe he could do more. Our national correspondent, Tom Parmenter, has been to Prince Andrew Drive in Telford to gauge residents' reactions there.
Would you live here? The road in the UK where the residents are split on the name. Change it or keep it?
We've actually had the conversation this morning that the name of this road will get changed.
It's only a name, isn't it?
Would you change it, do you think?
Yeah, I think I would, but don't ask me what to.
In this fairly regal part of Telford in Shropshire, the King's decision to remove his brother's titles has reignited the debate about the name.
What do you think every time you deliver a letter to Prince Andrew Drive?
We have a little giggle because we know that they don't want it named that anymore. I mean, I probably wouldn't either if I lived here.
This very local dilemma has been going on for years as this national scandal has become deeper and deeper. Some residents aren't bothered about it at all, but others, like the King, believe this is the moment for change. Every time you have to write it down or you have to tell someone your address.
Oh, I know, I hate that. I hate it. They go, oh, Prince Andrew Drive. And I'm thinking, I'm coming to go, yeah. I think he's done the right thing. And I think he went down a little bit in estimations. And I think now this has brought him back up.
For the King?
Yeah, I think people think, oh my God, yeah, and they've got respect for him again.
Would he be welcome here, do you reckon?
Welcome? No.
This is the end of Prince Andrew Drive, and you live here on
Queen Elizabeth.
Queen Elizabeth Way.
Yeah.
Julie wants to do it and cut ties completely.
Anybody who's been involved in the sexual exploitation of women should be named and shamed and should be knocked off. So the King has made the right decision.
He's always denied it, of course.
Yeah, well, he will do, won't he?
Where do your sympathies lie in this whole saga?
With anybody who's been sexually exploited.
The carefully worded statement from the palace, acknowledging all victims of all forms of abuse, is well overdue for Cheryl.
That poor girl needs justice. And I think it's ridiculous it's gone on for this long, to be perfectly honest with you, because that poor family is still living with it. There's interested to see if there's a police inquiry into it now. That would be eye-opening.
Regardless of whether this name stays, we didn't find anybody on Prince Andrew Drive who disagreed with the King's decision, even if it has taken years to reach. Tom Parmenter, Sky News, Telford.
Well, Home Editor Jason Farrell is outside Buckingham Palace for us tonight. And Jason, he's been stripped of his titles now. What next for Andrew and for his brother King Charles?
Well, obviously, Andrew's got to get used to a new name, a new status, eventually a new name, a new home in the coming months. But I think no less scrutiny. He's still under investigation from the Metropolitan Police over allegations that he denies that he asked a close protection officer to dig up dirt on Virginia Giuffre. We've heard from the Giuffre family saying, is he going to give any evidence to investigators, to Congress, about what he knew about Jeffrey Epstein? As we heard from James, there's more emerging. The email that he sent to Epstein saying that they should meet up just after Epstein came out of prison for being a paedophile. And there is this question as well about succession. He's 8th in line to the throne. The government says they have no plans to change that, but I suspect that that will be something that will be talked about in the coming days. It is kind of irrelevant. Let's be honest, he is never going to be king. As for the king, I have to say, it's strange to say it, but it has been a good day for the king. I think there's been a strong positive reaction from the public to this. Royal observers, I'm not a royal observer, but I observe them, and they are calling this momentous. And I think I've been quite surprised by what has happened here, but the public really have welcomed it, wanted it, expected it, and are pleased that it has happened. The king now just wants to get back to business as usual. He's got royal engagements next week. He's got a state visit coming up with the German Premier. He wants to get back to normality, if there is such a thing when you're part of the royal soap opera.
Indeed. Jason, thank you. Let's turn now to the Jamaican town being described as ground zero after a devastating hurricane. Black River on the southwest of the island bore the full force of 185-mile-per-hour winds when Hurricane Melissa hit. Our correspondent Martha Kellner has been speaking to residents there and sent this report.
When you finally get to the town of Black River through the murky floodwater and the avenue of twisted bamboo stalks, you understand why authorities are calling this place Ground Zero. People here seem almost shell-shocked, still processing what's happened to them and unsure what to do next.
Jamaica need help, man. We mash up. First, we never history this in our life. First, we see this in life, man.
What help do you need, sir?
Hose, water, current, everything.
This church is 350 years old, completely hollowed out by Hurricane Melissa. This is where the main street of Black River meets the seafront. Here you used to have a cafe, a shop, a pharmacy down here. You've got a Chinese wholesale retailers. Well, just look at it now. This storm has laid waste to this place. With communications still down across most of the island, people here have been unable to contact friends and family for 5 days now. We've been in touch with a lady named Inkaru. She's Jamaican, but she now lives in New York, and she's asked us to help find her mother, who she's not heard from since the hurricane hit. She's desperate for word from her. This is who we're looking for. She's called Inez. She's 67 years old, and Inkaru has given us her address in Black River, and we're going to head there now. When I arrive, she's sitting on the porch. Inez, your daughter has been in touch with us. Inkaru?
Okay. Come here and let me show you on the inside.
She's ever so worried about you. She just wants to know that you're safe. Inez shows me around what's left of her house. You were here for the hurricane?
Yes.
You have this corrugated metal over your head?
Yes, and see the bed here. I had to run out of this room.
You must be quite traumatised, Inez.
Yes, but I can't cook. Just sit down and thanking God that I'm still around.
Shall we give your daughter a call? Hi, Inkaru. We've got your mum here.
Yes, I'm okay. Yes, I'm okay. I'm okay. I won't complain.
I'm coming to Jamaica next on the 8th. I'm coming.
I was panicking during the storm.
Everything is gone, all the beds, everything.
Every mattress, everything.
destroyed.
But I'm alive, you know? Yes, I tried to rescue this when I realised that.
Before we leave, Inez shows me something she saved from the storm, a photo book still drying out.
I can't tell, and this is her.
Police watch as people queue for propane to power generators. There'll be enough for everyone here, you think?
Soon finished, not sure, let's hope so.
Desperation is growing here. Soldiers have been moved into Black River to stand guard after shops and businesses were looted. The police chief for this area urging people to be patient.
You can appreciate that persons are trying to grab at things, persons are devastated, but we want to ensure that we maintain law and order even as we seek to rebuild.
Army helicopters are flying over the disaster zone and some aid is arriving into Black River now. But with certain communities marooned from the rest of the island, this situation is growing more dire by the day. Martha Kellner, Sky News, Black River, Jamaica.
The mother of a teenage soldier who took her own life after being sexually assaulted by a senior colleague has called for investigations to be handled outside the army. Today, former Sergeant Major Michael Webber was jailed for 6 months for the sexual assault of 19-year-old gunner Jaisley Beck. Alice Porter reports.
Powerless and betrayed. That's how 19-year-old gunner Jaisley Beck felt after being sexually assaulted by Sergeant Major Michael Webber. In 2021, he grabbed her thigh, pinning her down, trying to kiss her. When she reported it, Webber was only given a minor sanction. The police weren't called. 5 months later, she took her own life. Webber, who's left the army, pleaded guilty to sexual assault and has been given a 6-month prison sentence. Now, Jaisley's mother wants sexual assault allegations to be handled outside of the military.
It's broke us. It's absolutely destroyed us, and we're lost. I can't even put into words how we feel without her. The army cannot mark its own homework. This has to be now outside of the army, independent bodies that soldiers can speak to and not be, like for Jaisley, it's all been brushed under the carpet. That cannot happen anymore.
At an inquest earlier this year, a coroner ruled that the army's failure to take action over the sexual assault by Webber and the relentless harassment that Jaisley was experiencing separately from her line manager all contributed to her death. But the army says there have been major reforms since Jaisley's death.
We are sorry we didn't listen to Jaisley when she first reported her assault. We are determined to make sure the same mistakes do not happen again. Since Jaisley's death, we have introduced a significant cultural reform programme alongside the Raising Our Standards programme.
But any reforms come too late for this teenager who wanted to serve her country. Instead, she was failed by the system meant to protect her. Alice Porter, Sky News.
If you've been affected by that story, you can contact the Samaritans at any time on 116 123 or email joe@samaritans.org. A convicted murderer who killed his pregnant girlfriend at her home in North East London has been sentenced to life with a minimum term of 42 years. 47-year-old Shane March attacked his partner Elena Odysseus when she was in the early stages of pregnancy with her third child in July last year. March appeared in court by video link from Belmarsh Prison after refusing to attend the Old Bailey for his sentencing. 5 people have suffered minor injuries after a high-speed train collided with a lorry at a level crossing in the Netherlands. It happened in the town of Metteren, around 70 kilometres southeast of Amsterdam, after the vehicle reversed onto the tracks as the barriers were coming down. Activists from Just Stop Oil who sprayed Stonehenge with orange powder have been acquitted of criminal damage. 3 people were involved in the protest a day before last year's summer solstice. They cited human rights law in their defence during the trial at Salisbury Crown Court. They can beat us, but they can't break us. The words of a Palestinian woman who was beaten so brutally by an Israeli settler that she was left with 2 blood clots on her brain. Settlements in the West Bank are illegal under Israeli and international law, but the number of outposts have more than doubled since 2023, and violent attacks are on the rise too, as our Middle East correspondent Adam Parsons now reports.
For centuries, these olive groves have been farmed peacefully. Now they've become perilous places. Israeli settlers have repeatedly attacked the Palestinians who come here. Yasser is showing us round, sure we're being watched.
I feel very, very nervous, and I'm looking to my sides, you know, on top of these hills, because without any warning, you can see hails of stones on your car.
Oh, come on, don't hit her! A week ago, Yasser witnessed this brutal attack on a Palestinian woman named Afaf. Hey! Beaten by a settler, wielding a club studded with nails. She's taken to hospital. Hey! And then the settler attacks another man with his club. Cars are torched. Violence comes in bursts. Settlers claim they are taking this land for Israel, and their attacks are becoming more frequent. He's brought us to the scene of the attack, but as we film, an army vehicle turns up.
Hello. Hello.
They say we shouldn't be here, and they want us to leave. There are no signs saying this is a restricted area, no barriers, guards, or warnings.
For your protection and for other people's protection, and this is the order. And this is by law. I can show you the order.
Yeah, I mean, who am I being protected from? We're told the police are on their way to arrest us. And then they change their mind and we're allowed to leave. So the IDF detained us for about 45 minutes. They've still got a vehicle up there watching what we're doing. They said that this entire olive grove has now been designated as a special military zone, and we're not supposed to be here. But you can't get away from the scars of the battles and attacks that have happened here. Look at these scorch marks on the road. This is what's left from a Palestinian vehicle that was set alight by settlers. Afaf suffered serious injuries when she was attacked, including 2 blood clots on her brain. Her family invite us to meet her. She's shaken, but also quietly defiant.
They beat me on my head, behind my ear, along my leg, my back and my neck, all over my body, everywhere. It's our land. We stand our ground and we are here to stay. We're not going anywhere. I won't give it up to settlers. They can beat us all they want. They can't break us.
Settlements have already been established here, like that one, Adiad, on the top of the valley. The settlers believe all this land is rightly theirs, either because of history or religion, and that has meant olive groves handed down over generations becoming no-go zones. This is Keith Assad's house, his view now blighted by the outpost that grows in front of him. He's turning his home into a fortress.
If you can see right over there, there's that big concrete slab of concrete. Yeah. Every year we go and we do olive picking. We have some trees over there. This is the first year. We won't even think about going over there.
What would happen if you went over there?
Oh, we'll be shot. Oh, that's guaranteed.
The olive harvest goes on, but it is now shaped by anxiety. Here the past is cherished, but the future is feared. Adam Parsons, Sky News, in the occupied West Bank.
Within weeks, 300 male asylum seekers will be moved into a 150-year-old army barracks in the Scottish Highlands. Just minutes away from the local high street, it will be the UK's most northerly migrant centre. Our correspondent Conor Gillis heard the growing anger in Inverness over the plans.
For nearly a century and a half, Cameron Barracks has sat in the heart of the Highlands, a landmark of Inverness's military past. Built for soldiers, it could soon become Britain's most northerly asylum centre.
Stay about 2 minutes from it, mate. I'm not too happy.
Figures show this community currently has no asylum seekers, but there are plans to move 300 male migrants here. What kind of welcome are they going to get?
I'm not happy one bit. I'll be there and I'll be posters shouting, get take.
We're scared for our kids, we're scared for the women, we're scared for everything, aren't we?
The small boats crisis in the English Channel feels 1,000,000 miles away for some communities. Under new plans to cut the use of asylum hotels, hundreds of people could be bused 600 miles north to Inverness, a place with a population of fewer than 90,000.
Who are you with?
We work for Sky News.
Sky News, fair enough. It's fair enough, isn't it? No problem with them being here. There's a few people that have got some really big problems with it. Unfounded. They need to go somewhere. I think there's unfounded concern from lies that are peddled by Farage and his ilk.
It's disgusting. It's a shambles. I wouldn't like to say what I'd do with them, but I wouldn't be putting them in the barracks, that's for sure.
What would you want to do with them?
Ship them back to their own country. You know what I mean? They don't deserve to be in this country, man. I mean, I'm no racist, but when it comes to that, you know what I mean, they're taking our houses, they're taking our jobs. We're born in this country, we can't even get houses, man, you know what I mean? That, you know what I mean? Sorry, excuse my language.
Do you think there's a bit of not in my backyard about it?
Oh, that's horrible to say that. But it's probably quite true.
If the army barracks are empty, though, what's the issue?
I'm sure there's plenty of homeless people British people would take on. I think Britain should be for Britain.
It has now emerged that this place needs more than £1 million worth of upgrades to bring it into the 21st century. And it's suggested that work could start in January. But the Home Office wants to bring asylum seekers here in the coming weeks. So could there be a delay in these plans as officials fear the migrants could bring a legal challenge because of the state of what they're arriving to?
The Home Office have made another mess. What will be the availability of healthcare services? What will be the availability of support services? We have no answers to these questions.
The Home Office says sites will be temporary and comply with health and safety standards. For generations, these barracks have held the Highland stories of war, its future now at the heart of a national argument over where Britain draws the line on asylum. Conor Gillis, Sky News, Inverness.
Well, that was Sky News at 10. Coming up, we'll take a first look at tomorrow's newspapers in the press preview. Tonight, we're joined by the Daily Mirror columnist Susie Boniface and the broadcaster and psychotherapist Lucy Beresford. Amongst the stories we'll be discussing, this on the front of The Guardian, its headline, Andrew to receive a six-figure sum and stipend from King. We'll be right back. Do stay with us.